Welcome back, laborers. Let's talk about the 10 best reasons why we should all be lifting weights. Now, I'm going to rank these from top 10 to number 1, but these reasons may be different in their order depending on where you are currently and what your future goals are. So let's jump right into this. Number 10, it improves your balance. As we get older, we lose muscle mass in our legs. If we counter that by weight training, that's called hypertrophy. We're going to get stronger. We're going to build muscle mass up. We're going to have better balance again. So the aging process does not lead to poor balance. It's simply losing skeletal muscle that leads to poor balance. Number 9, we're going to improve our appearance. Now, some would put this as number 1. I'm not putting it at number 1. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But the majority of people who put this as number 1 are also doping or listening to people who are doping. They don't understand that the majority of people who look a certain way are simply using chemicals to look that way. It's really important that you use your hormone system and train your hormone system to put you back together again so that it's good at other things like keeping you healthy. I could go into great detail of how important it is not to use chemicals to look a certain way, but we'll be belaboring the point and getting off onto a tangent. Maybe that's a video for another day. So number 8, increases bone density. This is more important for females than it is for males, but males can run into osteopenia and osteoporosis as well. So another good reason for us to be lifting weights to increase the mass of those bones. Number 7, reduces the blood pressure naturally. Why take medication when you can do it the right way? So exercising is going to help with that, including doing cardiovascular type activities such as running and biking and swimming, but lifting weights helps with that as well. Our blood vessels are muscles, and they vasodilate and vasoconstrict, and they can be conditioned to be healthier and to respond more appropriately. So that's something you want to be looking to do as well, is reducing our blood pressure naturally through lifting weights. Number 6, it enhances our glucose metabolism. So we store our glucose in our skeletal muscle. If you don't have enough skeletal muscle, you're not going to be able to store the glucose there, which means it's going to circulate around. It's one of the reasons why people are pre-diabetic and type 2 diabetic, is because they don't have enough skeletal muscle. Sarcopenia is the loss of muscle mass due to the aging process. And when you get to a certain point, there's just not enough skeletal muscle left to store some of that glucose. So it's really important that you counter that and build that muscle back up again. We also store glucose in our liver, but that capacity is quite small there. Number 5, increasing our range of motion, our flexibility. We do that through weight training, not through a stretching program. Don't get me started on stretching in general. I'm not a big fan of it. If you want to stay supple, if you want to stay flexible, if you want to maintain a nice balance between the joints, you want to keep both sides of a joint happy. So a tricep, bicep, a thigh, a hamstring. Lifting weights will keep you flexible. All right, let's move on. Number 4, it boosts your metabolic rate. So in other words, just sitting and watching TV, sitting behind the steering wheel, being at the office at your desk, you're going to burn more calories because muscles require more calories just to sustain themselves. That's your metabolic rate. So you're going to increase the metabolic rate by having more muscle. It's like having a 4-cylinder versus a V10. You want a V10. It'll burn more muscle when you're doing absolutely nothing, or burn more calories when you're doing absolutely nothing. Number 3, releases the feel-good hormones. Such an important point. You'll feel better about yourself, the world around you, even your future, by simply lifting weights. But at the same time, you're also not going to have all those chemicals running around in your body and in your mind that make you feel horrible about yourself and the world around you and your future. So make sure you're lifting weights so that you feel good about yourself and you're stamping down the chemicals that would make you feel bad about yourself. Number 2, it reverses the loss of muscle mass. We talked a little bit about that in maintaining our balance at the beginning of the top 10. Reversing muscle mass is so important for independence, for being able to do things comfortably. So fitness by definition is the capacity to do something. The more fit you are, the more capacity you have to do something. We want as much functional muscle mass on us as possible. We're not looking to be fitness models. We're not looking to be bodybuilders. Those drug users can do their own thing. What we are looking to do is things that make us happy, being physically fit and being able to do the things we want to do and see the people we want to see. And number one, it increases the strength of your cardiovascular system. Your heart gets stronger. And we talked about it before, your blood vessels get stronger by lifting weights. Now you want to slowly lift weights, work your way into lifting weights if you haven't been doing it, and you certainly don't want to hold your breath. But these are the reasons why we all want to lift weights. These are my top 10 in descending order. If you have any questions, I could have gone into greater detail about each one of them, bringing in some science and physiology, but I wanted to keep, and I still want to keep, these videos short. All right, I appreciate you tuning in. I will see you at the next video.